What is going on, guys? It is Trifecta J here, back with episode 7 of my Royals franchise. At this point in the season, we are 35 and 35, taking on the Boston Red Sox, who are also 35 and 35. Now, moving forward, we are swept by the Boston Red Sox, win the series against the Blue Jays, follow that up by losing the series to Detroit, and then losing to Minnesota to end out the month of June. We are 4 games under 500 at this point, and we have some updates from our farm system. Bubba Starling is playing very well in AAA, Luke Farrell struggling, and a couple of our other players are struggling. We do make a claim. Scott Feldman was put on waivers by Cincinnati. He's a veteran pitcher who could provide some nice innings for this team. So a look at the futures game, Jorge Bonifacio does make it, along with our catching prospect, Milribes Villioria, I believe is how you would say that. They're both younger guys who hopefully can provide something for this team moving forward in the future. A look at the participants of the Home Run Derby, none from the Kansas City Royals. And then a look at the American League. You have Salvador Perez, Kelvin Herrera as all-stars, along with, I believe, Lorenzo Cain. No, Lorenzo Cain does not make it, so only 2 all-stars from our team. A look at the transactions that we made, just a couple of calling people up and down, and releasing some players after a few different things happened. And so we got offered this trade. It was something that I thought was a very interesting proposal. Kyle Zimmer, a guy who's had a lot of trouble staying healthy, for Hernan Perez. He's a guy who can play a variety of different positions, and we would accept that trade. Now we reach the trade deadline. We're 10 games under 500. We really struggled in the month of July, and with the performance of this team getting swept by Chicago, that was just a really bad series. And then following a not great end of the month either, losing at Boston, then winning, and then losing, we get to the trade deadline, and I made the decision that we're going to be sellers. We have so many people who will be free agents in this offseason. We're not doing very well as a team, so there's no point in really losing out on these players for nothing. So we would make a trade Eric Hosmer to the Rangers for Leody Taveras and Yohander Mendez. They are both A potential prospects, as Hosmer is playing very well, so that gives a great first baseman for the Rangers who in a playoff push, and we get a couple of very good prospects out of it. Next up, a guy I wasn't really considering trading, Alcides Escobar. I didn't think he had a whole ton of value, but Addison Russell is actually out for the season for the Chicago Cubs, so I thought this would be a great addition to their team. We pick up Dylan Cease, Oscar De La Cruz, and Jamer Candelario. So a few really good prospects out of this trade. Also throw Brandon Moss in. He's hit around 20 home runs, I believe, at this point, and is playing very well. Only 23 years old is Candelario. He can play either first or third base and has some nice potential. And then you can see Javier Baez, Chris Bryant, but then Addison Russell tore his MCL, so will be out for the rest of the season. So this gives a good shortstop option to the Cubs that they didn't really have in their system. And you give Brandon Moss, like I said, 20 home runs. He's playing very well and gives them a great bench bat for the playoffs, or in case they suffer any other injuries. Following that up with a trade of Lorenzo Cain, Mike Minor, and just one more prospect that we acquired earlier in the year, we pick up Alex Wood, so a great MLB-ready pitcher. He's in AAA right now for the Los Angeles Dodgers. We pick up Willie Calhoun, one of the better hitting prospects. He projects as either a second baseman or left fielder. And then one of the better young pitchers in the Dodgers farm system, Walker Buehler. He's out of Vanderbilt, 22 years old with a B potential. Lorenzo Cain gives them a great outfield option, as Jock Peterson will move to left field. Then you have Yasiel Puig in right field, and then Lorenzo Cain slots in at center field. Mike Minor's pitched very well and gives another arm to the Dodgers for their playoff push. Can never have too much pitching. Following that up with Mike Moustakas to the Red Sox. So like I said, a big time fire sale, trading everyone away for the most part. We pick up Eduardo Rodriguez, Raniel Raudez, a 19-year-old pitching prospect, and Josh Tobias. Tobias is more of a MLB ready type of guy. He hits pretty well. He can play second or third. But the biggest player we pick up there is MLB ready pitching, and Eduardo Rodriguez, only 23 years old with a lot of time left in terms of MLB control. And then we trade Kelvin Herrera, Billy Burns, and Bobby Parnell. So a big package of MLB players for Juan Soto, Carter Kieboom, and Eric Fetty, I believe is his name. If I'm wrong in any of these pronunciations, please let me know so I can fix that moving forward. So Juan Soto, a 19-year-old right fielder, can probably play a variety of outfield positions. He is still very young, along with Carter Kieboom, both B potential and both only 19. Kieboom projects as either a shortstop or third baseman. He has a strong arm. And then pick up another A potential pitcher. He's a top 50 prospect. There's a 4-seam slider and changeup. Not necessarily the most dominant stuff, but could be a good pitching prospect if he does develop well. Hey, look at the farm system update. Juan Soto played very well in, I believe that was either AA or AAA. And then you also had one of the prospects we picked up in the Yankees trade for Jason Vargas playing well in AA. Hey, look at our updated line. Hernan Perez, Chesler Cuthbert, and Salvador Perez, Jorge Soler. Along with Hunter Dozier gets called up. Mondesi gets called back up. We signed Kelly Johnson and Anthony Ghost as bench bats and people who can play for days off. The starting rotation is Dan Duffy, Jason Hamill, Eduardo Rodriguez, Ian Kennedy, and Scott Feldman. Except we would actually put Ricky Nolasco in the starting rotation. He's pitching incredibly well for this team so far, and he's under contract for a little bit longer. Now we'll get a look at where our variety of prospects line up in terms of where they will play for this part of the season. So Willie Calhoun is in AAA. A lot of these prospects we acquired are in AAA, which is great to see. Candelario does end up in AAA. Walker Buehler, same. Josh Stillmount, a guy who is existing in the farm system, is in AAA. Juan Soto in AAA. Then you have Miguel Almonte, Carter Kieboom, both in AA. And look at some of the injuries. We have Nate Carnes, Terrence Gore, Khalil Green, and Brian Pena all out. Pena will be coming back very soon. The others still a little bit ways away. And then following this up with the standings of all of these teams, we are in third place in the AL Central, 9 games back of the Indians, a little bit further back actually in the wild card. So if we were to make a push for this division, obviously now we're not because we don't have that talent anymore, it would definitely been through the AL Central. I hope you did enjoy today's episode though. If you did, please leave a like down below. Let me know your thoughts about the trades we made. I thought we got a lot of very good prospects. I thought this was definitely the direction this team needed to go. A really good rebuild, restocking a pretty much depleted farm system after years of pushing for a World Series. So we have restocked the farm system, and now we move forward in this rebuild on episode 8, which I hope to see you for in the next couple of days, 'cause I'm out.